Hi guys, welcome to my channel, Lily Makes Stuff. Today I am going to be showing you how to make the Fairy Wing Shawl. It's a very light and airy shawl that can easily be worn in the summertime. I tend to freeze in the summertime in air conditioning, so I wanted to design something that would work to keep me warm but not be too heavy. So the pattern that I use today is going to be a modified linen or moss stitch, and really easy to do. It's a 1-row repeat, which I will show you. What you're gonna need is a 5mm hook, some scissors. I used lots of stitch markers in this one, and a yarn needle. And then the yarn that I used is by Berlini. It's called Merino Luxe, and it is 100% wool, which I know this is supposed to be a summery shawl, but like I said, I tend to freeze in air conditioning, so I didn't mind it being a little warm. There's 164 yards, and I used 10 of these, and it calls for a 4 to 5, but I wanted the stitches to be bigger, to not make it so heavy, so that's why I used the 5. It doesn't say so on the label, but the color is 1, or what on the website it's blush, and also they consider this a sport weight, so it's pretty pretty light, pretty thin, but the feel is amazing. If you want to see a written pattern, there is one for sale on my website, which is lilymakesstuff.com, and you should be able to follow this no problem without the written pattern, but it might be a little bit easier to see. This is also a one size fits all. I didn't actually break it down into sizes. It's easily adjustable though if you wanted to make it shorter or make it longer. Obviously you can take and add more rows. If you need to know the specific gauge or want to know the actual finished size of this shawl using this wool, that will be on my written pattern. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoy this, if you would like to see some more, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Okay, to begin with, we are going to make 4 of these panels and then sew them together. I can't really show you the whole panel. It's too big. Kind of give you an overview. It's basically just a big triangle, but we do something a little bit different halfway down that doesn't make it a even triangle. So as you can see here, I've got markers, and they're every other row, and every other row is where we're going to do increases. Okay, and this stitch is a modified moss or linen stitch, and I will show you how to do that. So to begin with, we are going to chain 26. So you make your slip knot, which I've already done, and we're going to chain 26. Okay, I have 26 stitches here, and to begin the moss stitch, you go into the 4th chain from the hook. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and instead of working a single crochet, I am going to work a half double crochet. Okay, and then you chain 1, you skip a chain, and you work another half double crochet into that stitch. Okay, you chain 1, skip a chain, stitch down here on the chain, and work a half double crochet into the next one. Chain 1, skip 1 at the bottom, half double crochet. Okay, And so you work a half double crochet all along every other one down the chain till we get to the end. Okay, I'm down to my last 2 chains. So this is the one we skip, and we're going to work the last half double crochet into the last chain, and then you're going to chain 2 and turn. And now we are going to, this is going to be an increasing row. Okay, so normally if we were not going to increase with the regular moss pattern, you would just work a single crochet into this chain 1 space like that. But we're doing kind of a modified version, so we are going to do a half double crochet into the chain 1 space, the first one. Let's see if I can make that closer. Okay, you can see the chain 1 spaces down here really well. Okay, and so I worked a half double crochet, and because this is going to be an increasing round, we're going to do 2. So we're going to chain 1 and then do another half double crochet into that first hole. Okay, so basically we just did 2 into that first hole, and between each one of the half double crochets, just like you did in the first row, you chain 1. Okay, so chain 1 and then work 1 half double crochet into the rest of the chain spaces until we get to the end, and we will increase 1 more time. So half double crochet, chain 1 into the next chain space, half double crochet. So we're only increasing on the ends, the first chain space and the last chain space. And just like in the first row, between each half double crochet, you are chaining 1 and then going into the chain space below it. Until we get to the end. And at the end, oop, yarn's getting a little too loose. Okay, so here is our last chain 1 space. So we're going to do a half double crochet, and then we're going to do 1 more. So we chain 1 and work another half double crochet. Okay, so every other row, so our first row, no increases. Second row, increases. Third row, no increases. Fourth row, increases. Okay, every other row we increase. So we're adding 2 half double crochets at the beginning, and 1 at the beginning and then 1 at the end. And in between each row, whether it's an increasing row or not, you chain 2. Okay, so this is not an increasing row. So we chain 2, we work a half double crochet into the first space. And instead of doing another one in that same space, we just move on to the next space and put another half double crochet. So you work row 3 pretty much just like you did the first row. You're not adding any more half double crochets. When you get to the end, you just do 1 instead of 2 because this is not an increasing row. Okay, so I'm now down to my last 2 chain spaces, and you just work 1 half double crochet in each one. Okay, and then to advance to the next row, we chain 2, turn our work. So now this is the 4th row, and it's going to be an increasing row. So we do 1 half double crochet, chain 1, and then you do another one in that first space. And then all across this row is just normal. Just 1 half double crochet in each one of these spaces till you get to the end, and then you do 2. Okay, we're nearing the end of row 4, and we're coming to the last chain space. So we're going to do a half double crochet, chain 1, and then 1 more. Okay, and I would suggest, just to help yourself keep track of things, at the end or the beginning, either one, it doesn't matter, of your increasing rows, I would put a stitch marker. So this was row 2 where we increased, and this is row 4 where we increased. Okay, and we are going to do that until row 31, and at 31 we're going to do something different. So keep working 1 row with no increases, and then the next row with increases every other one. So all the odd number rows, there are no increases. The even numbered rows, you are increasing at the end and at the beginning. Okay, we are at the end of row 31, and your work should be looking something like this. I can't show you the whole thing. Let me see if I can kind of scrunch up the middle, but it should be looking like a big triangle. And we're getting ready to start on row 32, and on row 32 we're going to start doing increases every row. Instead of every other row, we do every row. And we are going to go to row 63. So another 31 rows. Okay, so here's row 32, and just like every other row, we did half double crochet, a chain, another half double crochet, and chain, and we did 2 in that first space. That's our increase, and we're increasing in the same spots, the beginning and the end, but now we're doing every row. So that's the only difference between now and when you get to row 63. You do increases at the beginning and the end of every row. Okay, I'm just showing you the end of row 32. We're going to put 2 more half double crochets into that last space. Okay, so you see there's 2 in that last space, and now you're going to do that on every row until you get to row 63, and at 63 we fasten off and we are done with the first triangle. And then you're going to make 3 more triangles just like you did this first one. Okay, so normally on our return back to the other side, this would have been an odd row and we would not have increased, but now we increase every row till row 63. Okay, this is the end right here of row 63. So I'm going to fasten off, cutting off a pretty good tail that I can weave in at the end. Pull it through. And then I went through, and you can't, let me see if I can raise my camera up. I went through and I put all 4 pieces, the sides together. And we are going to lace up the sides. So I've already done all but this last one. I haven't taken the stitch markers out, but this is it laced up or sewn up the side. Okay, so here is our neck hole. And I'm going to start at the top. And you will now need your tapestry needle, your yarn needle. And I would cut a length of yarn about double the length of this size so that you'll have plenty to lace up. And we are going to lace this up in like an S pattern. Okay, so right here at the top, here's my string, my tailings. I'm gonna just kind of do a little bit of a slip knot right here, just to kind of double secure the ends. And then I'm going to take and go through the first 2 holes and secure it. When we get done, we're going to weave in these tails. Okay, so you're going to take and go through one side and then the other. And you don't want to pull it just too tight because it'll start to bunch up. And then I'm going to, the side I just came out of, I'm going to weave back in and through to the other side. And then again, I'm going to go, the side I just came out of, I'm going back in to the other side. So you're just going back and forth, and you're going from the outside edge across to the other side. So it's going to do like this, okay, up the side. And again, don't pull too tight, it'll start bunching up. If it does, you can just pull out your seam a little bit, okay? So going from the outside in, across to the other side, outside in. So this is a little bit different than like the shoelace, because the shoelace, you kind of go from the inside to the out, but on this one, we're doing the opposite. We're working outside, in and across. Okay, so you're gonna do this all the way down each side, each 4 sides, okay? And then at the end, you will fasten off, and then we're gonna weave in all these little tailings. Before we weave in all the ends, I'm gonna add a row of single crochets along this top edge. So we're gonna join some yarn. I'm gonna be in the middle of one of the sections, and I'm pulling it through. And then I slip stitch just to secure it. And in the same hole, do my first single crochet. I'm going to do that around every chain, and as I'm going back through, all these ends along the top, we're going to incorporate just to kind of finish it off a little bit nicer. Well, if I can keep all my strings straight. So yeah, as you're working across the top, just make sure that you lay your string along the top too, and it gets incorporated. And then you don't have to use your tapestry needle to weave in quite so many ends, and it finishes it off really nice. Okay, that did not work. Okay. Okay. Oh, there's Cow saying hi. Okay, go away, Cow. Okay, we're going to do the same thing along the bottom edge too. So you're just going to join a string and going to work single crochets all around the edge. And remember, when you come to these tails, to just work them into the single crochet. You will have a whole lot less ends to weave in at the end. You're still going to have a few. But along the top neck edge and the bottom edge, we're going to work these single crochets just to finish everything off. Okay, I've worked my way back around to the beginning, and when I get back to the beginning, I'm just going to slip stitch into the top of that single crochet, and then I'm going to fasten off. So this end we will have to weave in, but it's one versus a bunch. Okay, so the edge should look like that. Oh. Did I miss a few? Looks like I missed a few. I'm going to have to weave those in too. Okay, now we're going to do the bottom edge. Okay, all we have left to do is to tie off our ends, weave them back into our project, and you will need a tapestry needle for that. And then we're just going to go back through, weave in this tail, and then cut it off. All right, and once you've gone, like weaved it back over itself a couple of times, you don't necessarily have to do all of it. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy your shawl. And please subscribe to my channel if you liked it and want to see some more of the stuff I'm making. Thank you.